by the end of play this evening. One man will be lifting this trophy. A man who's done that is Jimmy White. Jimmy, question. I clocked your name isn't written the same way as everyone else's. Why is that?
Well, the engraver used to do it on the evening after the final, and I asked him to put Whirlwind in. He probably wouldn't be allowed to do it now, and I kept the trophy for a few months, and so I'm quite proud of that. It's pretty cool, Rads, don't you think?
Don't worry about the wind. It's very, very cool. In terms of this final here, we can see the seats there, two of the biggest stars in the game, and 4 apiece. This couldn't be any perfectly poised.
I think it's the right score. OK, Ronnie was 4-1 up, but in them first 4 frames, Ding could have won 2 of them. It could have easily been 2 each. So 4 each, all to play for, both playing well. Ronnie will reset again. And what has happened with this tournament as well, all through this championship, they've played a best of 11. So this 8 frames they've played today is now cancelled, and they're playing the best 11 for the championship.
It's time for the second session, and it really is not to be missed.
Two global snooker superstars ready to go toe-to-toe once again. The break of 71 from Ronnie O'Sullivan in the opening frame. That is a big steal, a very big moment early in the UK final. Another brilliantly brutal clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan, 91 this time. Ding Junhui missed a black off its spot, and he's been punished again. A vital frame for Ding Junhui to win, and he won it in style with a break of 89. Another hammer blow for Ding Junhui, another frame that Ronnie O'Sullivan has stolen from under his nose. O'Sullivan inadvertently fouled when he was using rest and bridge rest. Ding executed that shot and did the rest. This final is coming to the boil. Back-to-back frames for Ding, a superb century. What a final we now have in store this evening. It's a stirring fight back from Ding Junhui. He's won 3 on the bounce quite brilliantly, and it's set up perfectly for the finale tonight.
The first Triple Crown final of the season will become the most watched UK final in snooker history. China's greatest versus the world's greatest. 4 all and all to play for. Delighted as ever to be joined in the studio by Neil Foulds and Jimmy White. And Jimmy, so far it's lived up to billing and then some.
Yeah, you know, when Ronnie's gone 3-0 up, a couple of them frames he stole, you know, as Neil said, he had to do it, like he was behind. Ding missed an easy pink and an easy black. Ronnie punished him, and then Ding hit back fantastically to win that 4th frame. Ronnie's then gone 4-1 up, and Ding started to play, you know, he's played fantastic in the last 3 frames. So 4 each, I think, is about right on the play so far.
Ding's getting his last bit of practicing, as you can see behind us here with his team, as Neil pointed out, a very intimate team. But Neil, possibly a session of 2 halves. After those first 3, you're thinking, could this be one-way traffic? It wasn't to be.
There's always a chance Ronnie was going to just, you know, the way that a couple of those frames had gone, that he was just going to go 6-2 or 7-1, you know. I mean, obviously it didn't happen, and for the sake of the final, we didn't want that anyway. But after that, you know, I mean, it's one of those sessions where it finishes 4 each, but Ding is clearly happier because he won all those late frames despite the score being level. And I thought his approach was absolutely superb. In the end, he took the game to Ronnie in a big way.
Well, it has to be said, just a little bit of breaking news, is that Ronnie O'Sullivan is very much under the weather, has possibly been hit by the official York lurgy. Fingers crossed it doesn't affect him on the table. And that's because these guys are perfectly poised. They have an enormous amount of respect for each other, which we found out when we asked them all about their respect for one another.
You did play Ronnie in last year's event, and you beat him 6-0, which doesn't happen very often in a Triple Crown event against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yes, I don't know. It's surprising to me because every time I play him like leading 3-0, 4-0, or maybe 2-3 frames in a row, but he come back quickly and stronger. Maybe just in a minute, you feel the score will be level. So I don't know. Last time I did play well, and then last 2 frames.
Always had a good relationship with Ding, you know, ever since that Masters final. I think, you know, his mum and dad really appreciated me putting an arm around him, you know, when they see his son, you know, wasn't going through a good time, which is obviously really important, you know. So, yeah, we've always had a good relationship. We always keep in touch. We're always texting each other. We do a lot of work with each other, you know. We're always sort of, you know, figuring out what should we do, what should we do, what's next, you know. So yeah, I've got a good relationship with him.
How significant has Ronnie O'Sullivan been for snooker in your eyes?
I think he brings more of snooker fans into snooker because he played a way whose people love to see, like Judd. You know, the people love to see attacking snookers and quick and fast, make a big breaks, and sometimes look like no pressure, doesn't care, and then still making good breaks and make maximum for, you know, for some reasons. And everything he did. People love to see the different things of snookers. Sometimes we get bored, but he never do that way. So that's why people loved him.
He's great, you know, he's representing China. It's an honour in China to represent your country. You know, it's a people's country, and they like to sort of do it for the people, and it's all, you know, about that. So it's great, you know, in the way, you know. Yeah, so yeah, and he's handled it really, really well, you know, and yeah, they should be very proud of him in China. You know. He's a cool guy, you know. Most snooker players are a very simple sort of lot. We just have a cup of tea, a little bit of food, and a few balls, and yeah, just a bit of. We're all quite quiet and sort of simple sort of people in that sort of way, you know. We're not like Premiership footballers that want all the big watches and all the clothes and all the cars and big houses and stuff like that. We're just sort of a different breed, really, you know.
A lot of respect by both players. Now, in terms of the head-to-head, fingers crossed Ding doesn't see this because they've played each other 24 times. Ronnie has won 19 of those. Ding first won it when he was 18 years of age, Ronnie at 17. And Jim, what's remarkable is he's vowing to become the youngest and the oldest UK champion. Remarkable longevity.
It's absolutely incredible. He went missing sort of maybe 21 to sort of 26, and then he realised what he had to do to win. Stuff with Steve Peters, practices hard. I think a lot of that is to do with his natural talent and all the tools he's got to keep him focused, and plus he's the fittest guy on the tour. So, you know, at his age, to still be #1 in the world and possibility of winning his 8th UK championship, it's an unbelievable achievement.
It has to be said as well, Neil, in terms of there are 18 winners in the history of this event. 8 have won it multiple times. It's a very elite few that have won it 4 times or more, and that's what's at stake here.
Yeah, for Ding Junhui, definitely, yeah. I mean, this event has been his #1. I mean, a lot of the Chinese events he was able to win as well, you know, and he has won the Masters. He came back from that defeat against O'Sullivan, which was pretty bit of a turmoil years ago, to win the Masters 2011. So, you know, his route through has been more difficult than Ronnie's looking at that. You know, he has had to play top 16 players. He's had to play the season's #1 player, Judd Trump, which he beat. He's beaten the red-hot informed player on day 1. When he wasn't feeling well, Mark Allen. And he's had a more difficult route than Ronnie, who has only beaten 1 top 16 player to get there.
And 365 days ago, he was in a very similar situation. He lost, as Neil mentioned, to Mark Allen, the man he then beat on day 1 of the championships. How will he fare in this final? Consecutive finals for Ding Junhui afterwards in the hotels with a number of his friends, and you could see then he was devastated. He has a chance this time for redemption and to be crowned 4 times UK champion. But to do that, though, he is the better Ronnie O'Sullivan. The first session this afternoon was a tale of 2 halves. It was looking like Ronnie O'Sullivan was going to get off and possibly be an unassailable lead. It wasn't to be. Let's remind ourselves of how it all went down.
It always looked as though it was travelling to the far jaw, so on the cusp of clinching the frame, it was just a red away after that pink from doing it. In all the way. That is a big steal. That is a very big moment early in the UK final. Oh, what a shot. Breathtaking from Ding to pot his way out of trouble and to give himself a chance to win the frame. So Ding leaves the yellow. No problem. Another hammer blow for Ding Junhui. Another frame that Ronnie O'Sullivan has stolen from under his nose to restore his 3-frame cushion. Excellent, really good. It didn't look much, that shot, but it was superbly executed.
Ding Junhui 46. Yeah, on the frame.
O'Sullivan nods his head. Another terrific pot, and this time he's held for the black. He's going for it. He's not going to take a backward step. Wonderful. He's not cowed by the prospect of trying to topple O'Sullivan in a big final here at the Barbican, and he's right back in contention. And that is another terrific recovery pot. He's also fluked himself a snooker on the red. It doesn't matter. What a final here at the UK Championship we now have in store this evening. It's a stirring fight back from Ding Junhui. He managed to block out the errors he'd made that saw him for 4 frames to 1 behind. He's won 3 on the bounce quite brilliantly, and it's set up perfectly for the finale tonight.
Now, based on match statistics, Ding has played the better stuff. But in terms of the match score, in terms of frames, it is even Stevens. Now, it'll be very interesting to find out what both players make of the 8 frames they've competed in so far. And in fact, we can find out right now because Rachel has gone to see Ronnie.
Backstage, one last session, one last battle, one last fight. Here we go. Into Ronnie's dressing room we go. Hi, Robbie. Waiting for the man of the moment, who's just in the loo, coming out of the loo. Are you sweating?
No, just put some water in my face. Just
to liven yourself up, I guess. Jimmy always says that. Splash of water on the forehead. How are you feeling?
Yeah, no, I feel all right. I feel all right, you know. I feel like 4-4 was a good result for me, really. I should have... he played better than me this afternoon. I stole a couple. So 4, yeah, it's not the worst result.
We were 3-0 up, obviously 4-4. It's a fresh slate, and he came at you. I think you know what you've got to do tonight. Then you know what's coming for you.
Yeah, I've got to play well. You know, he's playing probably the better snooker, more consistent anyway. So yeah, I've just got to raise my level and keep it there for as long as I can. You know.
They're saying in the studio that you've not been feeling at your best. Have you picked up a lurgy?
I think I've started to get it a little bit. Yeah, I'm on the lozenges at the moment. I just started feeling it last night, so but I don't feel too bad. So yeah.
I said one last session, one last push. Have you got it in you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, good go.
Good luck. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Fingers crossed the lozenges happen to do their best. Now, Neil, for anyone who's just joining us now who didn't watch the afternoon session, there were a number of incidents that got us to that 4-all scoreline. Well,
first of all, you missed a treat if you didn't watch this afternoon. It was a terrific game of snooker. Now, I want to just start off here because Ding's over on the other table. I want to say this quietly, but here's a shot here. He's 1-0 down. He's on a break of 63. He's the best player into the middle pockets I think I've ever seen. And he misses the pink here. I don't know how he missed it. It always goes left jaw. It stays up there. Sometimes they pull down with the nap. That one he missed. And, OK, these misses don't really mean a lot. But if your opponent clears up, that's when they mean something. Now, Ronnie had already tried to move this red out, the shot before, and he's left with what we call almost like a back double, this one. They're not easy shots. John Higgins is the best in the world at doubles. Ronnie, I don't ever think that he's the best doubler of a ball. And this is a difficult one, just the way that the key was coming back towards the black. The red went in, the angle on the black was there. All of a sudden, it's 2-0. He missed a bad ball. Now we're talking 3-0. Just an interesting incident happened here. Now, I don't think I've seen this before. There's lots of things to watch on this. First of all, he pots the black, breaks the reds. Just keep your eyes over. The ball goes into that middle pocket here. Now, the referee, Rob Spencer, doesn't see it. He just carries on his merry way. The red goes in. There's Rob. Look, he's having, I'm just doing my job. Son, here we go. Oh, Ronnie's a bit unlucky. Well, he's even more unlucky because the ball in the middle. That was just one of those things, but it was quite amusing. It actually maybe changed the game in a strange way. And what was very interesting after that, Ding has come back very, very powerfully. Just want to show you what happened here. Now, this is a terrific pot. This is 4-2. If he can win one of the last two at 5-3, he'd have been happy. He drills in this red, and then the shot he plays on the black is even better here. You're going to see it in this clip here. He opens the bunch up as if to say, I don't care anymore. I've been a great player. I'm not going to let Ronnie dominate me. I'm going to play that shot. Made a big break off that. 4-3. Ronnie now just needs some sort of lead. It's quite a long run I'm going to show you here. This is a great shot. Now, here, he's trying to pot this. There's so many things he could do, Ding. He could pot it, stun up for the blue, screw back off the bunch up for the blue. He's played the biggest of big shots, which I don't think many players other than Judd Trump could play. Loads and loads of topspin, trying to plough that cable through, 8 reds? And most of the time you'll get stuck right in the middle of the bunch. But the revs on the ball, he finally gets there, gets on the black. That's all very well. I mean, this is incredibly difficult. It's so hard to get that much movement of topspin on the ball. Of course, it means nothing if he doesn't go on and pot the black. Well, he pots the black all right because he is on fire now. He's playing a belligerent, come-at-me sort of game for O'Sullivan. And I thought that was terrific. Now, look at that handshake. Ronnie's saying as if to say, well, I've been waiting for someone to do that to me. Come at me all week. And Ding has done it. There's a bit of mutual respect there. Can he do it again tonight? I tell you what, if he does, it's going to be some game.
Absolutely right, and to do it in a Triple Crown final, because it is all about the Triple Crown titles. We spoke about Judd Trump and his greatness in terms of ranking titles, and at that point he was playing Mark Selby, and we were saying that Mark Selby has got more ranking titles in terms of Triple Crowns, so where do they rank in terms of greatness? So as you can see, right at the bottom of that all-time list is Ding Junhui. So for him, 1 Masters, how much he and China certainly would love to have their very first Worlds. But look at that list on the right-hand side. Not many men have 4. And then at the very top of that ranking, 21 for Ronnie O'Sullivan. But in terms of the difference between Ding and possibly Mark Williams, there are not many Triple Crowns, because to get these big titles to your name, Neil, that's what ultimately cements your greatness.
Yeah, and these Triple Crown events don't grow on trees. I mean, Jimmy and I, we almost sing from the same song sheet, but he reckons Ronnie can win 10, 10 and 10 of all of these. I don't think so. Ding, you know, if he could win tonight, takes him up to 4. Ronnie goes on 8 for one event, which no one's done. You know, there aren't many of these big events around. There are so many good players. So tonight is a huge night, and if Ding won 4 UK Championships, it would be something. If Ronnie got to 8, I mean, who's going to beat that? You know, 8 of one event like the World or the UK or the Masters. You know, it's some numbers that he is stacking up, and Ding's looking to follow him.
I wonder if Ding has made a decision today to, like you say, bring it to Ronnie, because you could fold against him. We saw a number of players say, he's my hero. Hussein Vafai, Zhou Yulong was talking about the same thing there.
Yeah.
But Ding today has gone, that's not happening.
Well, he tightened up on that pink, and he tightened up on a black in frame 3. And after that, I think he said, you know what, this is me, I'm here, I'm 36 years of age, I've got my life ahead of me, I've won all these events, and he's probably got money, and now he just wants to go out there and play and express himself like the man he's playing has always done.
How important will the first frame be to kind of just settle you?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how tonight goes. I mean, the first frame's obviously very important. If Ding gets in front, then that's a feat from 3-1 and 3-0 and 4-1 down. But I don't think it's going to be so easy for Ding to come out and play like that again at the start. I mean, Ronnie, okay. I don't know, Ronnie might be on the back foot now. He's seen what Ding can do or been reminded of what Ding can do. It's going to be a good evening, but there's going to be a bit of tension as well.
Tension is the word. This could potentially be on a knife edge, and somebody who's in amongst it with a ringside seat is Rachel, who's backstage now. How's it looking, Rachel?
Well, it is going to be tense, isn't it? It's the last chance saloon, isn't it? And of course it's going to be tense. Ding Junhui just right beside us. Ronnie always stays away. And Jimmy, you've been in this position before, in 1992. It is the last session, the last battle.
Yeah, they'll both be, you know, they'll both be buzzing. They'll be adrenaline, they'll be pumping. It's 4 each. And all through this tournament, OK, Ding's played an extra round because he had to qualify. They played a best of 11. these first 4 frames, these 8 frames today, sorry, 4 each. They reset, go again tonight. They're playing the best of 11 for the trophy.
And I said that to Ronnie, you know, it's clean slate, and obviously Ding 3-0 down, but he's shown some resilience and fight that we haven't seen from Ding Junhui for a very long time.
No, not at all. You know, he's game with Mark Allen. Mark Allen was sort of the better player out all through the match, and he produced at the end. He also done that against Mark Williams. So, you know, his character, he's there because he's playing so good, and he's a high scorer. I think he has to get out the traps early tonight, because if Ronnie goes a few frames in front, he will kick on this time.
He will know what he has to do, for sure, certainly. Ronnie with an 8th world title looming, 8th UK title looming, I should say, maybe even an 8th world title, who knows. But massive night for Ronnie. He generally plays these situations down. How do you think he's feeling now?
He'll be sort of pumped up, you know. He will, as I said, he will reset, you know. That game this afternoon, 4 each, is gone now. So they'll just be getting ready to go out there, hopefully settle down, win the first frame, or if Ding wins the first frame, how it goes. They both players just want to get close.
Yeah, Ding's here. No sign of the rocket yet, but he'll be arriving very soon. Over to you, Radzi.
Thank you, Rachel. Perfectly set this one up. We can see Ronnie O'Sullivan there, looking cool, calm and collected. 2 players with nothing but respect for one another. An opportunity for Ding to put himself amongst snooker greatness. An opportunity for that man there to do what nobody else has done before, win an 8th UK title.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chinese sensation, Ding Junhui. Now, here comes the greatest player in history, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
What a final we have in store. Could it be the most watched UK final in snooker history? Let's hand to our commentary team to get this one underway again. I have Alan McManus and Dave Hendon.
Well, it could not be set up better, this UK Championship final between 2 global snooker stars, superstars of snooker, I should say. The nerves affecting all of us here. 4-4.
Thank you. The 9th frame. Ding Junhui to break.
Ding Junhui to get the second half of the final underway. 4-4. He was 4-1 down. He fought back superbly when it looked like at one stage he might be blown away here. And that's been the story, really, of the tournament for him. Dug in against Mark Allen. Dug in against Mark Williams, of course, had that thriller with Judd Trump. He was actually the first player to qualify, Ding, back on Judgment Day. Will he be the last man standing? Or will it be this man for an 8th time? Settle back and enjoy the evening ahead. Big shot to play in frame 1 of the night. It's just a question of whether Ding can pick up immediately. Had they stayed out there, you'd fancy him strongly to carry on. But it's been a good break, a good sort of 3 hours since the last session. What an atmosphere, Alan.
Yeah, that was a spine-tingling reception that both players got moments ago. Almost taking a breather for a couple of shots. Good evening to you all. Thanks for your company. This is going to be quite some evening. One of the biggest evenings of the snooker calendar.
Thanks, Ding. Thank you.
Yeah, the way that Ding played, I think the O'Sullivan alarm bells will be ringing. Never going to panic, but he knows the quality and the talented, educated fingers of Ding Junhui, the way he's played, there's the way he finished the session. It was an onslaught. And I think Ronnie was glad when the end of the session came.
Worth remembering how well he regrouped in that World Final back in 2022. Judd Trump had dominated the third session. And it came out, it was like it was a different match at the evening. And that's experience, I guess. He got away, didn't he, with the long ready took on. He didn't leave Ding in. Ball's in inviting positions for whoever does get in first.
One attempt each, no joy yet. Probably still living the tension of those intros. The one thing I think everyone's delighted to see is that we're seeing Ding back to something like his best, because we need him up there at the top of the game. He's too good not to be regularly. He's been posted missing for most of the last 3 or so years. We need him up there doing his thing, because he does it in such a incredible way. His cue ball today was sensational.
Yeah, if he were to win, Ding, he'd go up to number 6th in the world on the official 2-year list. And on the 1-year list, 2nd. He'd be in all the Players' Series and all of that. He would be anyway, I think, if you finish runner-up. But back where he kind of belongs, the top end of the list.
One.
So Sullivan breaks the deadlock and ends that run of unanswered points, 2-4-1.
Four.
So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Here's part 3 to get him in, perhaps, for a good chance.
Five.
The brown's not an option, not the pot. I wouldn't think it's too difficult, the queuing.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
Well, it's always a great occasion, but the ticket holders, people who've paid their money to come along, what a night they've got here. History either way. O'Sullivan extending the record for UK titles to 8, Ding becoming only the 4th player to win at least 4. Well, he's had a look at the potting angle of the red, as you can see. In it goes.
1.
Good chance then this for O'Sullivan to get going for a second time this evening.
Eight.
Rob Spencer taking charge of the final. Pink spot free, so that's where the black's gone.
9.
30 years ago, O'Sullivan became the youngest UK champion at 17. If he wins tonight, he'll become the oldest at 47. It's his birthday actually in just a couple of days' time.
$40. 50.
Yeah, got to work the cue ball here. The natural goes into the face of the yellow.
20. $21. $26. $27.
Key shot now. Bit awkward. That left shoulder high to avoid the red. He's not just the best player we've ever seen that's ever walked the planet.
32.
One of the reasons for it is because he's largely unaffected by these type of occasions. He's able to play sort of off-the-cuff snooker when the stakes are at the very highest, which of course they are tonight. It's another fabulous shot to create an angle through pace. Just working on getting that black into play.
$38. $39.
Yeah, this time. No impediment to the far corner, can get down on it properly. And finds the middle of the pocket this time. Good to go now.
$44. $45.
It's always the case, of course, with these finals, and we see it at the World Championship, the multi-session matches. Yes, it's one match, but it's divided up, and there's been 3 hours for O'Sullivan to collect his thoughts, draw on all the experience he has. Ding
50.
fought back well, but then they had to stop playing. O'Sullivan has clearly regrouped.
51.
And this is the pot that should make it 5-4.
Yeah, and the smartness of that shot, he knew that the blue would put him past the threshold. He didn't want to risk the black in the middle. Remember the pink that Ding missed earlier today when he should have won the frame.
$56.
So even although it's off the cuff and looks good doing it, he thinks his way around the table.
And that red surely stops any recovery playing on from Ding. '62nd ranking final, looking for a 40th title. Would be his first, of course, in a ranking event since that 7th world title
63.
in May 2022.
$70. $71. $78. $79.
Well, what a start to a big, big night. The question marks coming in after losing the last 3 the way he did. They've been answered emphatically.
$84.
Break ends at 84.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 84 on the press.
Ronnie O'Sullivan back in front. As the evening session gets underway here in York, it's the 7 times champion who nudges ahead. 5-4. Yeah, big night, and you could forgive some nerves early on, but O'Sullivan settled pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's been a shot, that's been a pocket actually that Ding's favoured this week. He's potted a few stunning long balls into that bottom left pocket, but not that one, although it was very high tariff difficulty. And from there, he's kind of knew when that first lovely positional shot. This was the awkward one, wasn't it? Just bridging over the other red. So there were 2 or 3 shots that weren't straightforward in that break, that being one of them. But this was with the point where he was past the post, toe on the floor, red wriggled in, and off to the ideal start.
Thank you.
O'Sullivan
The
5,
frame.
Ding 4 here
Ronnie O'Sullivan
as
to
the
break.
final session of the UK Championship final cranks into life. O'Sullivan winning the first frame there with a break of 84. 10 the target, of course, for victory. $250,000 to the winner. Ding, of course, was runner-up last year to Mark Allen. He made the running in that match. He led 6-1. In fact, the worst he's ever been halfway in a UK final is 4 each. With John Higgins 2009, he went on to win 10-8, never been behind coming into the final session. Just felt this week there's been something sort of blessed about Ding in York. He could easily have lost to Mark Allen. He wasn't feeling well anyway in the match. Was 4-2 down, turned that round. Of course, had a big match with Tom Ford for the Masters, beat him. Was 5-4 down to Mark Williams. They had that extraordinary frame with the record points, but won the last 2 there. And then last night held off Judd Trump, and that's after coming through 2 rounds of qualifying as well. But he's playing someone who holds a 19-5 winning record against him in previous meetings.
One.
Yeah, the red drop maybe not the best kiss though.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
Just
1.
looking to keep the pressure on here in the early exchanges. Yeah, didn't bargain for the bump of the middle pocket. Ding has a couple of options to either corner. Yes, I like this one too, the one in the open left of the black. Anything but a thin miss, and he won't contact the red on the way back. That's okay. I think Ronnie also will sense that Ding's long game is in terrific nick.
So that type of shot he's playing there, he knows that he can't leave anything sticking out. So Ronnie, I think in some ways, as I say, he's aware of everything. He'll be aware of that fact, and that puts a wee bit of pressure on the O'Sullivan safety. Going to invite Ronnie to have a red along the end cushion or one to middle here. Didn't have many other appealing options, so the gauntlet has been laid down.
One.
This blue, Ronnie O'Sullivan was in the practice room playing tons of these this morning for this moment right here. Nope.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, what?
It's one of those, you see him pop plenty. I do think that the concern for him this afternoon was once he started missing, he carried on. There was a period where he did struggle. It's up to Ding, obviously, to pounce now whenever that does happen.
One.
It's also noticeable just how popular he is here, Ding. You know, you saw it on the intros, we've seen it outside, plenty of people waiting for autographs and selfies. And that's, of course, because he's done so well here, but also just he's conducted himself so well for his country over the years and for snooker in general. His form has been a bit erratic, you know, he's been yo-yoing in and out of the top 16, but this run here, just getting to the final, really makes him secure for now, and if he were to win it, then he'd be back in the top 8. Just one wrinkle here as well. If O'Sullivan were to win, then they'd play each other in the first round at the Masters. If Ding wins, then Ronnie would play Mark Williams, Ding would play Ali Carter. Because it would affect where Ding would be seeded, top 8 or not.
Sorry. Ten. Eleven. $60.
This is where his superior cue ball is likely to come in handy, spinning this round the corner. Got to get topside.
17.
Fabulous shot. Look at that. Absolutely to the millimetre he played that. It's the hallmark of his game.
just feel that this is a stage he should be on. You know, these big finals, we sort of missed him a bit since last year when he won, when he got to the final. Won 6 of the first 7 frames against Mark Allen.
23.
Won the 6 reds, didn't he? But since then he's been quiet. He had that extraordinary business where he was Dr. Frame at the English Open because he was wearing trousers that were basically too smart for the dress code. Only in snooker could that happen. Took it on the chin. But it is in his beloved York where he's come good again. Important visit this. We've seen O'Sullivan start really well, looking confident, made that 84. Ding wants to show him he's feeling good as well.
That was a strange one. That was a wee bit weak.
28.
So he's got to almost use the cannoning red as a cushion and screw off it. Nothing he can't handle, but it's quite an unusual shot. Played it beautifully.
29.
Just work in his favour now, that the one that he can back up table, the one he's about to pot,
33.
is now out the way. So this next shot in the blue,
34.
just high of straight in the red. Absolutely played again. See, those are the brilliant shots in this game. It's not the... Look at that, just high of straight. Those are the shots that a snooker player looks at and thinks, whoa, what a shot that was. Basically because you're trying to land it on a halfpenny piece, and when you do it you think, whoa, it's a proper shot.
$47. $48.
So the next red will leave us
55.
Needing a snooker. If he pots it, remember what happened earlier on, frame 2, Mr. Pink, Sullivan cleared up. In it goes though.
56.
Kind of had to just focus on potting it, so one snooker needed.
Junhui, 56.
Yeah, good 56. That was a clever shot that he played. Just pushing the pink away from the reds because of the potential of Ronnie peeling off the 2 red blacks and tucking him in behind the pink, so that's not on now. Good thinking. Advanced stuff that was. Always got to look ahead for danger.
That was a very abrupt concession, wasn't it? O'Sullivan had seen enough. Game on again, 5 each. And this final, you just get the feeling tonight could turn into an absolute classic. Well, there was a big shot early on in the frame with the red close to the middle, the blue from O'Sullivan.
Yeah, the thing about that blue, actually, that although this will sound a bit strange, it's more difficult from this end than it is from baulk, those long pots, when you're practicing, you play them all from baulk. I know the tables is symmetrical and it should be the same thing, but for players it's not. But when Ding got his chance, you kind of knew that he was somehow going to get that black into play.
Well, he had to, as I say, show O'Sullivan he's feeling good tonight as well in the obviously biggest session of the whole tournament. And he made a nice break, 56, to level up once more, 5-5. So we're back on level terms.
The 11th frame.
Here in the UK Championship final.
Ding Junhui to break.
Everyone settling down for frame 11 of a possible 19. Ding has made 56, O'Sullivan 84 in the first of the evening. They played in 5 previous finals. O'Sullivan's won 4 of them. But of course, Ding has a couple of wins over him at this very venue, including 6-0 last year in the quarterfinals.
One.
Yeah, lovely pot. It's kind of almost the O'Sullivan way now as to he doesn't sort of produce too many thunderbolts from baulk these days. He does the odd one, of course, but very good at those type of shots, just picking off his opponent from baulk. Also interesting that he conceded there with, you know, still possibilities of winning the frame, but he wants to get on with it. He actually, I think, wants this to be an entertaining contest. You'd like to win, of course you would.
4.
But always mindful of wanting to entertain, like Ding.
5. No. So.
Yeah, terrific shot. Pity the red doesn't go to right corner.
$60.
I wasn't thinking. I was
17.
thinking of one by the black spot. What a terrific pick out that was, considering he didn't know it was on.
24. $25. $32. $33.
Such an unusual position that red's in, isn't it? The black will go in its spot, obviously. But the red is no good to either corner.
Well, that's what he thought of that.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Not much.
40. One.
He's been playing this shot particularly well, getting the cue ball working off the pink. This time goes in medium pace, so it wasn't going to happen that way. Still on one, but not easy.
6.
It's a key moment, I think, in the evening. Every chance, had he potted that, to go on and take the lead. O'Sullivan, as it is, 34 in front as he comes back to the table. Shown a bit of frustration, missing the previous pot when he was at the table.
One. Eight.
So that tells us the black is actually on its spot. It's not as close to the red as possible, as we see the miss again by Ding. Because the pink spot is in the open. So it's causing him an issue here, that one red.
9. $50.
Virtual frame ball with the pink waiting.
60.
Yeah, when he missed that pot with the rest, he clearly wasn't happy, but the fact that it hasn't been costly, you can put that to one side.
$22. 23.
So the pink for 6-5. It's we're in a match where not
29.
that much is really being missed. The red from Ding, it was a thin clip to that right corner. The fact that he missed it was significant, clearly. Not just
30.
because it meant he broke down, but as I say, it allows O'Sullivan to recover from what happened when he was in and not sort of sit in his chair getting frustrated.
37.
He's had to battle hard at times in this tournament. Robert Milkins had a
38.
great chance, several actually, to beat him in their decider. Zhou Yulong was 5-4 up against him. Same for Fai, came out confident, but O'Sullivan put him away in the semis. One
45.
last effort needed tonight.
46. $53. 54. 60. 62. 65. 69. 74. 80.
So it was indeed a key miss from Ding. And that's why O'Sullivan clears up very nicely with 87. And he's back in front in the UK Championship final. It's a swift affair, this. Frames going by, averaging about 14 minutes. 1 to go before the interval. And it's Ronnie O'Sullivan leading Ding Junhui 6-5. So this is where it could have been, you know, a potential moment we would look back on later tonight, this miss from O'Sullivan. But they're only significant if they're punished. So it just throws down the rest, not happy.
Ronnie O'Sullivan falls.
Doesn't actually play many rest shots, does he? Because, you know, he's right and left-handed, as we know. He's only played 3 in the match, actually. But this was the miss from Ding. And that was his last shot.
Yeah, Ronnie working on his tip. He's clearly not over enamoured with it. It's just not striking the cue ball as sweetly as you would like. So he's having to troubleshoot on the job, as it were. But that's nothing new.
So can O'Sullivan get himself within 3 frames of that trophy? 6-5 now, first to 10. As I say, it's been a fast flowing match this. The average frame time just around 14 minutes. A lot of big breaks, a lot of frame winning breaks, but also that's why the odd mistake, the odd miss is significant. And in that last frame, Ding got himself into a position where he could have fought back to take it, but missed a red to right corner.
Frame.
O'Sullivan made 87.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break. Take your seats, please.
I thought the way Ronnie played that long red was telling. I mentioned earlier that he'll be wary as Ding gets a bonus cover in bulk. He'll be wary of Ding's game in close with good reason, obviously. But the fact that he went deep on the cue ball to come back for bulk colour tells you that he is wary. Against a lot of players, he would have just gone middle ball, stay for the blue, because that way the pot's easier. But he knows the consequences of leaving Ding in close.
Foul and a miss. Ding Junhui 4. One. Ding Junhui 1.
Something else to note with this type of shot, he did it in his last shot, Ronnie. He's sort of tiptoeing his way through these safety shots, very thin contact. This time, okay, well, has he got the fluke? That surprises me, that he played figure of 8. I mean, there's nothing on the right wing in baulk for cover. That was a strange one. I know he wants to get the game on and the game flowing and make moves, but there was no move to make on that occasion. Easy pot this, cushion first. Can he get the cue ball out of there? You'd imagine he's going to get some kind of flick on a red. Just a question of whether it's a good one.
One.
Nearly.
Blue ball, thank you. Junhui 1.
Humper bridging, that might be almost as good as a snooker, maybe even better if Ronnie just about get to the middle of the cue ball, but this is a toughie. Hitting this shot well. He potted one against Judd. It was the other side of the table. It was into the other top left corner. It was the red that got him over the line, wasn't it, against Judd Trump? Not the exact same shot, but similar. Yeah, deciding on the straighter one. So, pink and black waiting, get the pot. He's guaranteed, you'd think, to be on one. Just was a wee bit surprised he didn't play the one out in the open. I mean, he's the man behind the cue. He knows how he's feeling, but that was a tough pot in any circumstances.
One.
Well, that has to go down into reprieve for Ding. The fact that Sullivan wasn't away again. Been a lot of heavy scoring in the final, but the interesting thing, of course, is what happens before that. What happens to get the players in, and psychologically that can make such a difference as well. Ding has made a century, 114 in frame 7. Sullivan's best break, 91 in frame 3.
There's no doubt that of the two, Ding is the aggressor. But Ronnie will be glad to pick up the pieces as and when the chances come. And here's another good one.
Yeah, that's it, because it's such an open game. Invariably, when the chances come, they're all kind of there. But anything's missable, as we know. He's trying to just get some clear blue water here at 7-5.
The
thing is, if he could choose anyone to lose to, it would probably be Ding. He loves Ding, but the fact is he still wants to beat him tonight and win this title for an 8th time. It's been such an effort all week from him.
$40. 50.
Yeah, I definitely think of the two players. It seems to me that
22.
Ding is the one who's playing actually the better of the two, or to put it another way, feels more comfortable with his own game. But of course, these guys are that good that if you let them in close, as Ding has here, it doesn't really matter how O'Sullivan, or Ding for that matter, are feeling about their game. They're going to punish you. This sort of chance, it's like picking it up off the floor for these guys.
31.
But that's the gamble.
37.
And Ding, as I say, so far, just seems like the more likely to play a hand than Ronnie.
$44. 45.
See, even here, he's been so watchful. Two reds in the open, you think, no problem. Wants to play on both of them if he can. So he's spinning the cue ball round to try and just put it into open play, but he wants to play in both reds. You see that? He's being more watchful.
50. 51.
So 2 more pots needed for 7-5. Ding's aggression is admirable, but he's going to have to start getting them
56.
because he's leaving chances that you just cannot leave for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
57.
He's won the mini session then, and he's 2 clear again in the final. Ding needs another rally like we saw this afternoon from 4-1 down, like we saw in round 1 from Mark Allen against Mark Allen from 4-2 down.
63.
Still time.
64. 71. 72.
Well, the one thing he's not done yet is make a century in the final. He's had 4 in the tournament.
79.
Gonna have to be the double. Well, not to be, but 79 once again. He's taken advantage of a chance that was presented to him, and Ronnie O'Sullivan has moved 3 frames away from becoming UK champion for an 8th time. There's still time, of course, for a turnaround. It's going to have to happen soon for Ding Junhui, though, because it's Ronnie O'Sullivan leading the final in York by 7 frames to 5.
So what did your school reports say about you? I don't know, nothing positive, I don't think.
When I went to school, they'd have probably said I was quite well behaved.
Satisfactory, but capable of much more.
Sort of probably daydream quite a lot about being a snooker player.
Useless, never going to make himself of anything.
What over the years has been your late night takeaway of choice?
Well, it was either two, and you know, if Mark Allen was around and we'd both lost and wanted to grab a bite, it was Domino's. If he wasn't around and I still wanted to go, it was Chinese.
It's normally just good old sort of fish and chips or pie and chips.
Chinese, crispy duck, hoisin sauce.
Well, in UK, there's not much choice to have. Maybe just a kebab, something like that.
Chinese and then crisps. Crisps was my...
You loved your crisps, didn't you? Yeah.
Crisps are my downfall. Nah, I'm going back to eating them again, which is so bad.
If I've had a few, it'll probably be like, well, it's normally a kebab shop open, so that'd be something like that.
Now, this is one that gets people blushing. What was your first celebrity crush?
Someone like Kelly Brook or something like that back in the day.
Easy. That was Pam out of Dallas.
Probably Britney Spears, I think. Oh, right. You had only been about 9 or 10 when she became a star, Judd. You were starting early.
You started early, yeah. Was it The Little Mermaid when I was a little kid?
Oh, right.
Yeah, cartoon, yeah.
Thingy LeBrock out of Weird Science.
Kelly LeBrock?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yeah. Unbelievable, yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah. Do you have any phobias?
Snakes.
Snakes?
Snakes.
Yeah.
Terrified. Terrified of snakes.
My sister locked me in a suitcase once, and I didn't like that, so I don't think I like really... I don't know if anyone's good with that, but yeah, I definitely felt claustrophobic, but I'm all right in lifts and stuff.
I'm not a fan of spiders. I have to get Sophie in to deal with them.
Pumpkin.
Really?
I hate pumpkin,
Yeah.
and that's why I can't eat sweet potato, because the texture is kind of like the same. A snake, I think if anyone put a snake near me or a snake in the room, I'd scream, I think.
Well, I won't go with myself. I'd say Neil Robertson.
Sean Murphy.
Probably Karen Wilson or Sean, maybe.
Well, everyone says Neil Robertson's the best long potter on tour, when in fact it's me.
Myself.
Myself or Higgins. John Higgins.
I know who the worst is, and that is yours truly. We have to say, I think every civilised person on the planet agrees that it's John Higgins.
Probably Stephen Maguire, maybe?
That one I'll go with me.
Well, I think he's late for everything, and that would be Neil Robertson.
Possibly Robertson. Not only is he late, he sometimes goes to the wrong venue. Barry Hawkins, Mark Williams.
Matt Selt's quite funny.
It's me.
Probably Ronnie, I'd say, because you're always guaranteed to have a brilliant crowd no matter what, and the atmosphere is always great, and he's the ultimate challenge in the sport.
O'Sullivan for me, because for obvious reasons, the greatest player to play our game, and I see it as a challenge every time I play him, so I enjoy that challenge.
I always look forward to a game against O'Sullivan, having being the best player of all time. It's the biggest challenge that a snooker player can face.
I love playing Sean. I think he's got a special way of walking around the table and nice technique.
Probably Matthew Sell.
Probably Hawkins.
I remember one night in Thailand was quite nice with Ricky Walden, Tom Ford and Steve Maguire.
My good friend Mark Allen and I, we've been known to sink a few, especially if United are on.
Ronnie versus Ding Junhui has been a tale of 3-1 mini-sessions. This afternoon, Ronnie won the first 3-1. Ding responded with a second 3-1. And Ronnie just then has forged a 2-frame lead by winning the third mini-session 3 frames to 1, meaning that it is the Rocket who is now 2 frames to the good, and the best front runner in the history of the game is going to take some catching But if there's anything we've learned from this tournament is that expect the unexpected. In terms of the match stats, you can see it is now Ronnie that's possibly usurped the mantle from China with better pot success, better long pot success, but the highest break does go to Ding Junhui. How many matches is Ronnie involved in after 12 frames to not have a century? That is saying an awful lot. And Jim, just in terms of bringing that to kind of full fruition, it's been a really, really intriguing final so far.
Yeah, it's been a really tough match, you know, like both players know that the other player's playing well. Ronnie looked like he was going to go away with it in the first session, 3-0 up, 4-1 up, ended up 4 each. Ronnie's gone and reset, come out, 5-4 up, Ding's hit back, and then Ronnie's won the last 2 games. You know, these what these great champions do, you know, they see the opportunity to go ahead. So Ronnie's in the driving seat at the moment.
And he was in the driving seat, Neil, partly because of that frame 9. It was a very methodical break from him.
Yeah, I think he stepped up his game tonight. You know, he played some good shots, though, in that frame to get himself back in front. He's never been behind yet, you know, that's the key.
Yeah, exactly that. Let's take a look at him.
Yeah, well, you know, in this frame, this was a bit unlucky, I thought, from Ding, because he's steering the cue ball up to safety. But the problem on that shot is you never know if you miss the red where it's going to finish. And it's one of the few places down there where, you know, the red is potable. Ronnie took full advantage of it. So, I mean, Ding might, if he'd got closer to the pot on that red, the red would have stayed at this end and the cue ball the other. But he didn't do, and this was just the kind of opening I think Ronnie needed. And as Jimmy said, you know, it was a question of resetting going into tonight.
Yeah, and sorry, Brad, a couple of long blues Ronnie's played. This red, OK, Ding needs a snooker. This red just wiggles in just to confirm that he's won that first frame. So then he relaxed and went on to make a big break.
And Jim, in terms of frame 10, Ronnie understands the magnitude of this because you could see a little bit of frustration coming into him after that missed blue.
Well, in that break, in the previous frame, he's potted 2 or 3 of these long blues. You know, it's a difficult shot. It's a bit further distance. He knows the significance of the blue. If he pots it, he's bang on and he probably goes to win his 3rd frame on the trot. Missed it, and Ding stepped in and showed great character and went on to win the frame.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? That rescue blue that Ronnie missed there, he, you know, 30 years ago when he turned pro, he was knocking those in all day long. But, you know, they can be missed, as you saw, and Ding with a lovely break back. So, you know, it was kind of as you were from this afternoon, really, at 5-all.
Possibly the only time when you question Ronnie's ability is with a rest, and we saw a bit of frustration with that missed shot, Jim.
Yeah, it's bad miss from Ronnie. Not only did he miss it, he didn't even threaten the pocket, you know, and it was like he played a good black off 2 cushions to get on that red. There wasn't any other balls open, and he, like, hits it straight into the right jaw, like, you know, it's a bad miss from Ron. And obviously he's disappointed there because he stuck the red over the middle pocket.
I think he's a good rest player normally, but he obviously doesn't use it as much as other players because he plays shots left-handed as well. This was an awkward little shot from Ding, and it stayed over the pocket. You know, I mean, that was his way straight back into that frame, having seen, you know, Ronnie miss, but he just couldn't pot it.
Jim, how did you assess his cue ball? Because in frame 12, he hits that, he misses the, in fact, his frustration because of the sort of letting the cue ball go out of position.
Yeah, well, the shot he's played is behind the black. There's 2 or 3 reds sort of blocking his path, and he ends up, he pots the red and catches another red and doesn't get on the black. Just a little bit of frustration for Ron, bangs the table. But he manages to regroup and play a good safety shot. He's trying to not hit any of them reds. He just catches that one. He wanted to bounce onto the black in that pocket. You can see Ron, a little bit of frustration, but regroups and plays a good safety shot and puts Ding Bang in trouble. This is a nice kiss he gets here, Neil.
He did get a nice kiss, but I suppose if he didn't hit the red, he would have been on the blue anyway. But, you know, I think he'd been unlucky not to be on a high-value colour from the shot, you know.
Well, it's now a 2-frame match. Not a lot left in it, but anything can and will happen. It's safe to say that as for this audience, they've been treated to what's been dramatic, what's been unpredictable, but hasn't been vintage Ding or vintage Rocket yet. How will they fare when they come back out onto the bays? We've spoken a lot about Ronnie and how much he's accomplished in the game, all of his accolades, but what about the magic he creates on it? Well, here's Ronnie recreating them exactly as he did them then.
Yeah, I remember this shot really well. I went through a phase of where I just fancied just potting like a lot of these shots, you know. I don't know whether it was the type of technique that I was using at the time, but I just felt like if the pocket wasn't in vision, I still had this like supreme confidence that I was going to get close to it.
What a shot that was.
Yeah, and I was like made up with that shot, you know, because obviously your opponent thinks he's, you know, he hasn't left you anything easy, and then next minute you've potted the red and you're on the black and you're clearing up, winning the frame. So yeah, a bit demoralising for your opponent. Let's go and see if I can show you how that one was done. So again, I've got this shot here and red up in there, and it looks like a tough pot, and it is a tough pot, but because there's not much distance between the white and red, I kind of like think I've got half a chance. It's like one of my sort of good shots for me, but I need to bring my white this side because I don't want to leave any reds. If I leave the white here, you can put one in the middle. So the most important thing is have a go at the red. You get it, great. If not, white off the side, round here, and don't leave anything on. So we'll try this one here and see how we get on. There we go, bingo! Yeah, I think it was the 2021-2022 season. I felt really good, you know. For pretty much most of the season, my cue action just felt strong, solid, and yeah, I just felt confident, you know, no matter how pressurised the situation was. World final, didn't really matter, you know, I just felt confident that I was going to come to the table and do the business, you know.
What a moment this is. This Crucible Theatre has seen many down the years. This is something very special because barring snookers, this red, and it's O'Sullivan's 7th world title.
Although it looked like a real pressurised situation, final world championships, blah, 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 but a lot of the time is you're just trusting the technique. OK, let's go and give that one a go. Yeah, so this was like the final frame against Judd. It's just all about being clinical. You know, hours and hours of practice down the club. You know, you're preparing for situations like this. You just want to keep tight cue ball control. Obviously, the old heart rate is going a lot faster than it would be down the club. But the idea is just to keep as much control as you can. Try not to let the occasion get to you. And you just pot in the balls. And again, just keep tight cue ball control. And this is what winning the big tournaments is about, doing it under pressure and when it matters most.
The winter sports season is well underway on Eurosport and Discovery Plus. You can watch the Freestyle Skiing World Cup, that's at 1:20 on Thursday. The Alpine Skiing World Cup is on Friday, that's at 10:15. And as for the Biathlon World Cup, you're going to have to choose between the skiing and that one. That one is at 11:15, all Central European time. Now, as for us here on the practice table, you can forget about the pressure of being out on the bays in the UK final. This is the real pressure gig. Jimmy's jacket's come off, which means it's time to recreate some snooker magic. And first up is a shot from yesterday's match, Neil. A fantastic shot from Ronnie, the red cannon against Fafai.
Yeah, I mean, some cannons are just naturals where you've just got to hit plain ball and you'll get the cannon. This is not like that. This is one where you've got to get the right amount of stun on the ball to throw the cue ball wide into the cushion. If you don't get enough on, the cue ball's going to come back down the centre of the table. If you dig into it too much, you'll miss it, the cannon on the left side. And, of course, he's trying to knock the red out and be on the blue. So he's playing a cannon from a red onto a red, which sometimes can lead to a positional problem. But, you know, he played it perfectly.
It's an unusual way to play it. You know, players never really pot a red and get another red out. But Ronnie's realised the situation in the game, he's 4-2 up. You know, there's value if I can get the other red out. I go 5-2 up. And he played a fantastic shot.
It's all about touch, isn't it? Getting the right stun.
Yeah, it's try not to go too low on the cue ball.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
That's not bad. You hit it quite well, Jim.
Jim, what are you putting on the cue? Well,
it's sort of
hard stun,
a stun. You just try not to put too much on the cue ball because you don't want to come here But Ronnie put in a good blue after. It wasn't an easy blue.
You went slightly too low on it, didn't you, on that last shot? That's just slightly stunned it too much.
One more, Rats.
Go on, we'll go quickly.
We've got lots of film.
It's a very difficult shot to get to perfect.
No.
It is a tough shot for a reason.
Yeah,
Very, very
you're a
tough
fantastic shot, you know, and obviously he's got no shot there. The only other shot after that is a double, but he managed to get the cannon.
Well, that was Ronnie's magic. There's also been some beautiful ding stuff as well, Neil.
Well, there is, and I know that Jimmy particularly liked the shot we're going to say. I think it was like a more of a recovery pot, wasn't it? Because he was playing against Judd last night. We're seeing the shot now. I mean, he didn't want to be here. That was the problem. He finished actually in a place where he shouldn't have been. And this red, it should have been a much easier shot with his positional skill. But he broke down a little bit. So as much a test of his temperament to recover. Stroked it in, back in position, back in the game, and knocks out the man of the moment, really, in
Yeah,
Judd.
you know, and we all talk about Ding's positional play. He had the easiest positional shot ever, and he ended up snookered himself on the third to last red. He needs the last two reds, so he was in perfect control. He just had to pot that red, blue, that red. He missed position. Instead of getting down on himself, he just got back down, realised the significance of this pot, got down and knocked it straight in.
A lot of screw on that shot, Jim.
Yeah.
Never. What about the win?
Never in doubt.
Never in doubt. Never, ever
Beautiful
in
shot.
doubt.
Out of interest, out of 10, how many times would you get that in, do you reckon?
Well, you should get it 7. It's quite a difficult shot, but under the circumstances, that was to beat Judd Trump and get into today's final. You know, if he'd have got on that red, it would have been an easy route. He didn't, and done a great recovery shot.
You said he was low on the cue ball. Actually, Jimmy always addresses the cue ball low. Now, that is actually not really a good habit, as we were speaking about the other day. You're not meant to do that. No, he's a one-off that does that. Players don't do that.
No,
he addresses the cue ball low and moves up it, don't you?
Yeah, I find the centre of the ball from the bottom, which is when you're starting off the game, you shouldn't do that.
Is that been because of back when you learnt as a child, that's what you did off
Well, me and Neil tell him the only sort of coach we had really was sort of a guy called Ronnie Gross. We sort of, you know, we learnt our own, you know, not like today and, you know, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there wasn't these DVDs and coaches out there. So that's a bad habit, but I haven't done too bad.
No, you could have, imagine what
the red went in.
Yeah, listen, we had to learn the hard ways. All our lives, man and boy, playing this game, learning the ropes. We didn't have it easy like these guys, DVDs and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of being a boy, Ronnie O'Sullivan won this championship at 17 years of age. It was remarkable. We'll take a look at the archive shots here. But do you guys remember what he was like before he was the Ronnie O'Sullivan brand, the rocket that we know him to be today?
Well, I mean, I played him when he was 12 years of age in the festival in North Wales. Actually, the place has just closed down this week. But, yeah, I mean, he was a brilliant player then. You know, I was a leading professional, and I only think I beat him 4-2. He was incredible. Wow. So this is like 5 years on. We knew what Ronnie was. I mean, Jimmy played him before that. He knew exactly what he was. He came and won this title pretty quickly, let's be honest.
Yeah, what he had, Ronnie O'Sullivan, he had this natural ability. All he wanted to do was just pop balls, like when you play any sport. He's not thinking about, OK, from an early age, everyone knew how good he was, but he just wanted to pop balls, and he's managed to put all of this together, his positional play, potting skills, safety play, and made him this winning machine. So his talent sort of was on hold from, I think, from about 22 to about 26, and he realised if he's going to be the greatest player in the world, he has to sharpen up on all them 3 things, and he did.
And in terms of off the table, has he been quiet even back when he was a teenager?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's always been driven to do what he does. You know, that's always been the thing with Ronnie. I kind of agree with Jimmy that there's been some times when you might have said he's going to end up an underachiever, because we have seen people before, haven't we, that haven't gone on. I mean, Ronnie is a special talent. You know, I'm not going to mention names, but I can think of 2 or 3 players who we saw really young, thought this individual's going to be brilliant, and they haven't gone through with it. But, you know, with the right people behind him and the incredible talent he's got, this is the end result, what we're seeing today.
Well, Tuesday marks 30 years since Ronnie won that at 17.
Yeah.
Ding won it at 18 years of age. Again, that was remarkable. You're seeing very much a child win that match when you look back at those years.
Quite amazing, wasn't it, Jim? I mean, you know, you think back then, he'd already won a ranking event earlier on in that year when he was 18 as a wild card, beat Stephen Hendry in the final. You know, here he is beating the legend, the Steve Davis, who was a bit of a surprise finalist that year, actually. No one thought Steve would get to the final. He played brilliantly, but he got absolutely whacked in the final.
Yeah, he'd come from absolutely nowhere. No one had actually heard of Ding, only people in China. And as Neil said, he'd come in as a wild card, and went through the tournament. And once again, like O'Sullivan, we know we had a great new star.
Yeah.
In terms of this here, how do we see this final going? I mentioned sort of 3-1 mini sessions. Will it be another version of that, do you think?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you know that these sort of intervals can change matches. And it's already done that twice now. After the first 4 frames, Ronnie was in charge, Ding came out powerfully. Then Ronnie's done what he's done. Now, if Ding comes out with the same mindset that he was thinking about earlier, like, I'm behind, I'm going to just go out there and express myself, then there's no reason why he can't come back into this match. I don't think that Ronnie would rule that out either against him.
And have we seen vintage Rocket yet for you?
Not yet, no. Or Ding tonight, obviously understandable. They're sort of jockeying for position. And this next frame for Ding is huge because what Ronnie O'Sullivan won't do, he won't take liberties. He won't push the boat out. He will play the right shots at the right time. I agree with Neil. I think if Ding's going to win it, he's got to be aggressive.
Has this been the best Ronnie we've seen so far?
Yeah, you know what? I actually don't think he's played his best the whole way through this championship. I've got to be brutally honest about it, which means that maybe an 80% of O'Sullivan's best can be enough, which is quite a frightening thought, isn't it?
And in terms of Ding, what do you think his mentality should be going back out there?
I should think, I think he's been on a free roll. His first match, he was sitting in his seat. As you said to him in the interview that he didn't feel well. He's now in the final. I think he's just got to go for it.
The final mini-session. So for the very final time of the UK Snooker Championship 2023, we can hand back to our commentary team of Alan McManus and Dave Hendon.
Thank you. 13th frame. Ding Junhui to break.
So Ding Junhui gets the UK Championship final back underway. He's trailing 7-5 to Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's won 3 of the first 4 frames this evening. 10 needed to become champion. It would be an 8th success for O'Sullivan, a 4th for Ding in this great tournament. The final mini-session of the UK Championship. O'Sullivan needs 3. Ding from here would have to win 5-2. He'd have to produce the sort of rally he did from 4-1 down to 4-4 at the end of the afternoon.
One.
Yeah, couldn't do anything about the cue ball. Flirting with that corner now. I think he had a glance at the blue, but it's a shot you hardly ever play. Such a scary shot. But again, he's pressing and trying to stay positive as he can. Very unlucky. Great pot.
6.
And virtually bolt straight on the red along the cushion. Yeah, this time his hands are tied as far as
Ding Junhui 6.
be aggressive. Sometimes you just gotta, well, not take what's there. It's just too difficult, that red along the cushion. Might be pushing the black safe here.
Tickets for next year's UK Championship went on general sale this morning, already being snapped up. So, a mistake now. Ding is at that point where he has to start taking advantage.
One.
Pink spot occupied. So this becomes a decent chance now.
Seven. Eight.
Yeah, and it's been in adversity where he's played his best snooker in the tournament. Even going back to the first qualifying match, he was 4-3 down to Daniel Wells. You know, those qualifiers can be pretty sticky affairs. He got through 6-4, 4-2 down to Mark Allen, 5-4 down to Mark Williams. And it looked for all the world like it would be a decider with Judd Trump. That seemed to be what the script was saying, but Ding played a very good 10th frame to get it won. So when the pressure's come on, and we saw it again this afternoon, 4-1 down, he has responded.
$50.
Now, does he risk the cannon on the two together to make the pink spot open? Yeah, good shot. It's just that bit easier to work off on from its own spot. Just watching his cue action there, I've been more vocal than most in the last 2 or 3 years about some sort of flaw, which I don't like saying, in Ding's cue action on delivery. I actually watched back this morning when I woke up. I watched the 2009 UK final against John Higgins where he won 10-8. Just to sort of have a look back, a retrospective of how he was striking the ball then.
27.
And I'm pleased to see that he's sort of rectified it, not completely, but it's much better than it has been in the last couple of years.
33.
There you go. So let's just see how quickly the transition from pullback to delivery on this one is. It's quite a quick 34. Delivery there, wasn't it? You know, he's still just about okay. It's the odd shot. It doesn't look like it did back in the day. Still okay.
$40. $41.
It's just a wee bit quicker than it ever has been, but he's somehow been able to manage it in this championship.
$46. Thank you. $47.
So in between yellow, brown, little trace of left-hand side. Just beat the middle pocket with a cue ball. Oh, that'll do nicely. So
52.
Not out the woods just yet, but the possibilities there. Looking for red colour, red.
Junhui.
Well, he missed a pink to that pocket in frame 2. O'Sullivan cleared up from 63 behind. The balls were in much nicer positions then. This is a tough table. Even so, could have been over. Ding was closing in on 7-6.
One.
Just never know, do you, with this man, what he could conjure up here. She didn't quite work out trying to develop the red, so 54 in it, a possible 67 on.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Yeah, Ding, of course, desperate not to open up the 2 lots of safe reds.
Thank you.
Concern on Ronnie's face as he left this. I mean, if you can see the red, it's no problem, the pot. It's just whether he can get it thin enough. Nope. Now, this could take on a whole new complexion. Ronnie just releases these 2 reds here and doesn't leave a pot on. Takes on a whole new complexion. Has he left the plant?
Well, this pink would get him 61 in front with 59 on. But of course, if he doesn't pot it, then well, the clearance could be on.
Ding Junhui 1.
No time like the present. He knows he's got to make a move quickly. Now's the time. Got to get this though.
So, Ding relieved to get this second chance here. O'Sullivan not happy at all to have left it.
Whoa.
Ding, of course, made the running in the frame with the 52. This time, it looks like he has held on. When they made the draw, which was top 16 in one hat, qualifiers in another, he was the name everyone wanted to avoid. And of course, Mark Allen was the man who had to play him on day one. Ding, wherever he's ranked, everybody's fully aware of how good he has been, how good he still can be. And we've seen a lot of that this week. He may need to still produce his best snooker of the week to win this, but he's hanging on in there. Wasn't the cleanest kill, but he's won the first frame back after the interval. So just one frame separates them again. Ronnie O'Sullivan now leading 7-6. Yeah, at this stage, just important to be winning these frames. Now, this is the draw for the Masters that was made earlier on. There's an either-or depending on what happens in this final. If Ding wins the final, then he will be seeded in the top 8, so he'll play Ali Carter. If Ronnie wins it, Mark Williams will play Carter. We've got Mark Selby against Robert Milkins. Judd Trump, the defending champion, against Karen Wilson. Mark Allen against John Higgins is one of the standout matches. O'Sullivan plays Ding if he beats Ding tonight, or Williams if Ding beats him. Neil Robertson, of course, will be back after his December break to play Barry Hawkins. Sean Murphy against the debutant this year, Zhang Anda. And Luca Brissell, Jack Lazowski, that's a tasty one. I understand that will be the first match on the afternoon of January the 7th. But anyway, it starts January the 7th. It'll be live on Eurosport and Discovery Plus. That is the draw for 2024 Masters.
Thank you. Take your seats, please.
So Ding
Frame
has pulled one
14.
back, 7-6. He's never been in front, of course, in this final. He did get level at 4-4 and at 5-5.
Please.
Still a possible 6 frames to play.
One.
Nicely done, cue ball held up. Can he produce another spell like we saw from 4-1 down when he was superb for 3 frames?
Four. Five. So. 11. $16. $17.
I like the fact, that was awkward, but he kind of didn't make a meal of it, did he? He got into position pretty much immediately, ready to play it. Played it well. Of course, it is the middle of the night in China, but I'm sure there'll be plenty watching this.
24.
Fascinating battle, of course, with Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's popular all around the world.
$31. $32. $39.
Aggressive intent by Ding, calculating that he would have needed at least one of the reds in the pack.
40.
And now that little flick on the brown, he's well set to draw level again. Ronnie can't get away from him. He's playing with a supreme confidence, I believe, is Ding. I think he did against Judd Trump in the semi-final. He's playing in a way that I think he believes he's going to win this ultimately tonight. There's a difference between really believing that you're going to win and just wanting to win and hoping you're going to win. It's just the way that he's going about it. He's playing with a style and a speed that it's like he wants to get it done quickly. He really is motoring when he gets this type of chance. Almost irritated that he's got to go back and get the mini butt extension. Just got to dot the I's and cross the T's of this chance now.
$52.
Ronnie's break-off was loose, and this is the consequences of it. I believe Ding is, by a distance, is playing the best of the two of them.
Two more reds required to win the frame in one visit and really raise the temperature in this final.
59.
Demonstrating here what a wonderful break builder he is, but what a time to pull out a contribution like this.
66.
Frame ball for 7-7.
67.
He's made 12 centuries in the UK Championship, including 3 in qualifying. The record for a single UK Championship is 13. Neil Robertson back in 2020, he can equal that
74.
here. What a time to do it. And he's showing great intent. He's showing Ronnie O'Sullivan he believes he can win. And he's playing snooker here of the quality that suggests he's right.
80. 81. $88. 89.
'I love how quickly he gets locked
96.
into the shot when he gets down. Boom, and he's there. It all happens so naturally. What a gift he has. That's for the century.
13th of the tournament for Ding Junhui. It's going to end here, I suspect.
104. Foul.
But what a time to make that 104. To level up dramatically. Just one chance needed and he took it. The final has turned. It's 7-7.
Yeah, here was the long red that got this sparkling century break underway. The break off by Ronnie, hand on the bed of the table. We usually know the consequences of that at this level, and Ding made no mistake. Beautiful cue ball shy the baulk line, and even although the pack were tight, he worked the chance lovely actually. A couple of times above the blue, picked a few off, and then he chose the correct moment to get the reds moving because he knew he was going to need one. And once he got the spin, the double spin into the bunch, you pretty much knew the writing was on the wall.
Seven all here live at the Barbican in York. The UK Championship final, I should say, between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Ding Junhui could not be closer. Ding making a second century there. And of course, we don't have long to wait for our next live snooker. The shootout will be along on Wednesday. That's the 6th to the 9th of December in a new home in Swansea. So you can follow the thrills and the spills of the shootout from Wednesday live on Eurosport and Discovery Plus. Chris Wakelin, of course, defending the title. And then it's up to Edinburgh for the last Home Nations event of 2023, the Scottish Open. Gary Wilson defending the title there. That starts on the 11th of December.
Thank you. The 15th frame. Ding Junhui to break.
Ding Junhui in the ascendancy in the UK Championship final. He's won the last two. He's never been in front. Is this the moment it changes? 7 all. He's equalled Neil Robertson's record of 13 century breaks in a single UK Championship. And he's playing the sort of snooker that suggests he can continue, but of course he can turn back. He knocked in a long red in the last frame. Can O'Sullivan return the favour here at the start of frame 15? Yeah, sure. Just noticed something on the cue ball.
Oh, sweet snooker symphony. The sound of that was the impressive thing, forgetting the pot itself. What a shot. Full of risk, but full of intent.
Sullivan's just gone back to his chair while the referee, Rob Spencer, gets the pink into precise position here, just below its own spot.
Thank you. 7.
Just giving Ronnie actually a chance to survey the scene, what he has on offer.
Eight. $50. 60. 23. 24.
got a glimpse of that red there on the southeast corner of the pack. It does go to left corner, so that's worth noting. More access to it once this red is removed.
.32. .37. 38.
Yeah. He had some easy pickings there, but decided to shake the tree and get to the sweet ones. So now, you would think, with one good positional shot, he's all set to take the lead again. That's beautifully played.
40. .41.
Yet to make a century, O'Sullivan in the final, but a frame-winning break. Doesn't really matter whether it's 80, 90 or 100. Gets you on the board. It's also when you do it, you know, it sat out
48.
really 2 frames. Question was, could he find the response? The long red flew in, first shot. He's controlled things superbly. And he's given himself every chance to edge back in front.
56. 57.
I think this is as good a frame of snooker as he's played in the whole tournament. The way he's controlled it and given the circumstance with Ding coming back at him. You know, we're late on in the final now.
.62. 63.
Well, 6 minutes that break to get to the frame ball position. Just absolutely brilliant.
71.
Yeah, we know all about the way these guys play these days and the way they're capable
78.
of playing. Something that's never crept into
79.
top level snooker is the break-off shot in terms of switching. The last 2 frames, the red has been offered up on the right wing and it's been dispatched with the minimum of fuss.
86.
Ding made a century. You got to think Ronnie's about to reply in kind. I just think sometimes that players should switch the break-off. They're both playing
86.
from the yellow, as we call it, in between yellow-brown. It'll be interesting to see if Ding offers up that, or sorry, Ronnie offers up the red to Ding this next frame on the way. I say offer up, it's not deliberate, but it's just a habit that you sometimes can't shake.
93.
So the black then, for his first century of the final. What a time to make it. Ding was in a groove.
100.
But O'Sullivan has stepped in with a terrific 100 exactly. Ding just can't quite get in front of him. He keeps pegging him back. He can't get ahead. It's O'Sullivan who leads once again at 8-7. So that frame was just 8 minutes, and it just, again, revolved really around the break-off, and then would O'Sullivan pop the long red or not? He did. And after that, he was just in great control throughout.
Yes, I mentioned actually we're not seeing as many thunderbolts from deep bulk as we were used to in the last 25, 30 years by O'Sullivan, but that was one right there, exactly when he needed it. What a shot. Arguably his best shot of the final. And
38.
took the opportunity to just release the reds, and when the yellow went in and he landed nice, the black for the century couldn't quite nudge that last red, but no matter. He's back in control, if there is such a thing in this incredible final. It's just brewing up beautifully now.
Thank you. The 16th frame.
Frame 16 of a possible 19. 8-7. O'Sullivan has just made his first century of this year's final, the 5th he's made in the tournament.
Here's this red again. From a neutral point of view, I'm glad he didn't knock that in and make another century. I want to see a battle to get control of a frame.
Foul. You miss. I'll check it, Ronnie. Yeah, it's okay. That's all right.
Okay, well, he's not sure whether contact was made, so
Jim, have you got it on there?
The referee's gone down to
Can you show it me on
look
there?
on the camera. Jim Kemslin-Jones, one of the great cameramen, he's going to come into play here. If you can get the replay on his camera. Referee's going to look at it.
Just Rob's looking in if you find it right.
Just go back. I can't see it moving.
Can't quite see the actual potential point of contact there.
Just go back again. Really slow now.
The red doesn't move at all, so if he hit it, it was very thin.
Okay, all right. It's not a foul, Ollie. It touched the red.
Okay, well, he's decided it did touch it.
Yeah, good stuff that by Rob Spencer. It was difficult to tell one way or the other, wasn't it? But I think he also took into consideration, he put trust in the player, and that's a brilliant thing. But yeah, it did look like it was almost like the wind, the cue ball in the way past just rocked the red ever so slightly.
Yeah, what I liked about all that is he found a solution there, the referee. He didn't just sort of shrug his shoulders and say, well, that was my decision. You know, he actually attempted to sort it out, and it was all done very quickly, sensibly.
Will be thankful to see the black parking on this end cushion, but Ronnie does have a natural path round this red on the left cush, but can he avoid the pack on the way back up table? Surprised he played it that pacey.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
About 1 degree of angle on it, but you can't get to the left half of the cue ball to spin the cue ball out of there. Yeah, so he decided to punch it and got as much out of it as was possible.
It is notable how much support he's getting. Of course, when they played in that Masters final, 2007, and Ding was still a teenager at the time, the crowd there were not, or sections of it anyway, were not as nice to him. Let's just put it that way. It was pretty hostile at times, and it was quite an upsetting occasion. But this is much different here in York. But
Junhui
missed that one.
Yeah, terrific opening red. I mean, us guys are privileged. We get to see the best players in the world at close quarters. I was in the practice room this morning, and that long red was the one that Ronnie was practicing.
7.
What's he got here in terms of angle? Yeah, he's having to manipulate it, stun. Almost stun come follow through, he just didn't quite have the natural.
12. Ronnie O'Sullivan 12.
Here's another one of those practice shots. And he was going deep on the cue ball this morning and spinning it back. Can he find another? Yep.
4. Five.
Oh, this could develop. This is a huge shot. If he can just get any contact on the black with one of the reds. Yeah.
11.
Now then, this pink thin cut to middle, does he play it? What a massive shot of the final if he plays it. It's thinner than it looks on screen. We'll get to see it from floor camera perhaps. Not this time, but this is it. There it is. Wow. What a big shot that was.
Yeah, the applause started earlier. Everyone was absolutely sure that was in, but it just dropped in, so now he's got the whole frame at his mercy.
18.
Yeah, he's potted 3 pile drivers in the last 2.5 or 1.5 frames that have given him control
24.
back of this final.
25.
That's the thing, however anyone assesses the way he's played in this tournament, at 7 each he had to step up his game, and he has done. We saw it in the last frame with the century. We've seen the way he's got this frame open at his mercy.
31.
He has stepped it up. And if he can just finish this frame now, he'll be just 1 from an 8th UK Championship victory. Quite remarkable.
$38. 39. 45. 46.
It's pink then for 9-7. Every time Ding has pegged him back, O'Sullivan has gone ahead of him again. And now for Ding, the equation is pretty straightforward. He's going to have to win the last 3 frames. Otherwise, it's O'Sullivan's title once again.
53.
Yeah, the UK Championship started in 1977.
59.
The Masters started in 75. No one has won any of them
60.
8 times. You have to go back 55 years. John Pillman won his 8th World Championship. Hey Jude hadn't been
66.
released yet.
67.
So history may be imminent, but Ding's not out of this, not by a long chalk. Does he get one more sort of fight in him to somehow get back into this final?
74. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 72.
2 great breaks from O'Sullivan, 100, and that's 74. Barnstorming stuff from the world number 1, and he is 1 away from victory, leading 9-7. Wow, what a break that was.
Yeah, there was a couple of reds, David, weren't there, that were just outstanding. As I say, I was in the practice room this morning and I was watching him doing his workout. He was playing safety shots and he was playing these. From deep ball, just on or around straight, and working the cue ball back up table. There's another mini version of it, and the pink that followed, the cut to right middle, was sensational. When he hit it, the pink, we thought, is it going to just veer north on him? Here it is here. You think, is it going to... It held its line and pace did the rest, and he got the nice little nestle cannon against the red, and you knew what was going to happen from there. One away from an 8th title.
So Ding staring down the barrel here. 9-7 down to the great Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's just put together 2 pretty incredible frames. But we've seen him come back already in this final. 4-1 down to 4-4. 7-5 down to 7-all. It's about getting the chance and then taking it. And it's also about a good break-off shot, because the mood O'Sullivan's in, he might only need one chance to get this one.
17th frame. Ding Junhui to break.
In a bit of trouble here. If he plays the conventional safety shot, he's got to get it absolutely spot on. I can understand him looking for a different option, because it's not a nice shot to play. He's got the obvious red to avoid. The blue looms large in the middle of the table.
Foul, the miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 5.
Now then, will Ronnie decide to pull the trigger? The answer's yes.
One.
First chance to get it won. Of course, a very special tournament for him. We had all the commemorations earlier this week. 30 years on from becoming the youngest champion. His first breakthrough ranking title success the week before he turned 18.
9.
Many chapters, many volumes in the Ronnie O'Sullivan story since then, and it would seem plenty more to come.
60.
And this would be one of the biggest tonight if he could get to 8 UK titles. when you consider all the talent,
17.
all the players in the game, established players, emerging players, all threatening his supremacy. Here he is with his chance.
$24. $25. $32. $33. $40. $41. $47. Thank you. Cheers.
Just about made it.
48.
He has access still to 2 reds. Does he play the cannon on the right-hand wing ball? Yeah. And they're all for him now. They're there. If this red goes in, he should win it here and now. The quality from Balk has been astonishing in the last few frames.
56.
And if he goes on and wins the title for an 8th time, that'll be the hallmark of the victory. Hasn't been at his best, but when push has came to shove,
60.
He's produced the goods again.
64.
Well, as long as snooker is played, this name, Ronnie O'Sullivan, is going to echo down the ages, and this is why. It's more history for the greatest player ever.
71.
Ding Junhui pushed him
72.
in this final session. Ronnie O'Sullivan responded with his best snooker of the tournament in these last few frames. From 7 each, he has been sublime.
$79.
Look at that, there's a 1-4-6 on in the last frame of the tournament. Jusso will be happy to know that his maximum in the qualifiers will still stand, but that will be some way to finish. Ding again has had a great week in York. He's entertained and delighted his many fans. And he did not play badly in this final, but O'Sullivan had just
87.
found something from somewhere to sprint to the line.
88. $94. 95.
Ever the showman, it's going to be a century to finish. talking about 1993, that great breakthrough win. And we end it still talking about Ronnie O'Sullivan.
$108.
Legend.
109.
Yeah, that shout's correct. The legend continues.
$115. 117. 124.
For cheering in every ball, and why not? What a sight. Ronnie O'Sullivan in full flow. So 30 years after becoming the youngest winner of this title, and 2 days before he turns 48, Ronnie O'Sullivan has become the oldest UK champion. Somehow he keeps on raising the bar. An 8th UK title. He's beaten Ding Junhui 10-7. And I tell you what, those closing moments was something very special to watch. The crowd just so emotionally involved, as they have been with O'Sullivan for 3 decades. He is still, after all this time, the man to beat. And again there, showing us why. Those last 3 frames, he did not put a foot wrong. Breaks of 174 and 129.
Junhui, commiserations from 3-0 and 4-1 down. What a fight you made of it to get to 7-all. But he was just too strong today. Tell us how proud you are, not just of your performance today, but all week. You have fought so hard.
Yeah, so it's very, very good in the week. Start from the first match. And I know it's going to be very tough tonight. I missed a couple of shots to win the frames in first sessions and didn't doing well. But I think it's hard match now, so I try to get more points to fight 1 frame first and then win another frame, see what happens in the first 8 frames. So 4-4 is not too bad, but he played better tonight.
You nearly didn't play at all, Junhui. You were so unwell here last Saturday. How close to pulling out of this championship, really, were you?
I remember in my life disappointed if not playing this tournament. That's why I'm trying to play. So.
Well, what a fight you've made of it. And tell us about the confidence levels and what you've learned about yourself this week. Very rarely do we see you beating your chest and showing such emotion. We like this side of Ding Junhui.
I like it. Yes, I like too. I like myself to play like this, and it's very cool. You know.
We think you're pretty cool too. And finally, it's a venue and it's a championship I know you love here in York. What do you want to say to this crowd who really have taken you to their hearts? Not just today, but ever since 2005 here.
Yes, I really take them hard. So very thanks for every game to support. I love here, love everyone.
2 finals in a row. Come back next year and make it a hat-trick. Thank you, Junhui. Thank you. Ronnie, champion again. Absolutely amazing achievement. What more can we say here? But when you look back over the last few days, the heart and the fight that this man has shown, and he's one of your great pals in this game, what would you like to say about the spirited performance he put up tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he's played fantastic all week. You know, I've been watching his games, and you know, his cue ball control is the best ever. He's just never out. It's like watching like computer. You know, when you see a computer, it's just everywhere you want it. You know, it's just it's a pleasure to play Ding. You know, he's such a good man now. You know, he's a boy when I first started playing, but he's a man now. You know, he's a father. A credit to China. You know, all the Chinese lads that come on the tour, they're so polite, so nice, and Ding is, I call him the godfather of Chinese snooker, you know, because, you know, he paved the way for everybody else, you know, to believe that they could come here and do it, you know. So Ding's a massive inspiration to all the snooker players, you know, and, you know, listen, I'm a massive fan of Ding, and it's an honour to play him in the final. I know there's probably millions and millions of people watching in China, so for me, it's a fantastic experience. The crowd here have been fantastic all week. I love playing every minute here, and it's just good. Yeah, I've had a good week.
Ronnie, I can chuck a whole bunch of numbers at you. It's an 8th UK crown, it's a 22nd major, it's a 40th world ranking title, and you're still #1. But what can you tell me? What gives you the greatest pleasure about winning this one, the greatest pleasure about winning this one 30 years after your first time?
I don't know. Each tournament I win and play in, I get great pleasure out of. You know, I've played great all season. You know, the 2 tournaments that I've won, I've probably not played my best stuff. In the other tournaments that I've played in, I've played really well, not won them. So it just shows you what a strange game this is. You know, tonight I just had to come out and just have a good head. I thought, you know, if I'm going to lose, just make Ding earn it. You know, the big crowd here, everyone's watching. You know, give them their money's worth. You know, leave blood, sweat and tears on the table. If I don't win, you know, that's just one of them things. But I come out here and I give it my all, and I just love competing. And I love to compete with Ding tonight. You know,
it's a kind of full circle moment, Ronnie, because not only were you the youngest winner of this event, you're now the oldest. Happy anniversary!
Yeah. I know. I mean, I always keep beating myself up because of the age thing. You know, I keep thinking at some point, you know, it's got to stop. I've got to stop winning at some point. But I keep doing all right. You know, so I'll keep going until the wheels fall off, you know.
Well, they're not looking like they're falling off anytime soon. Here he is, the man who is still cutting the mustard, as you like to say, all these years later. Mr. O'Sullivan, an 8-time champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your presentation party, Steve Dawson, Chairman of WST, and James Booth, the Head of Acquisitions at Mr. Q. The runner-up receiving a silver medal and a cheque for £100,000. What a run from Ding Junhui!
Well, they love him here in York. He's played some delightful snooker. Frankly, I'm not sure who could have done anything really about those last 3 frames. We'll see him at the Masters, where, by the way, he's going to play Ronnie O'Sullivan in round 1.
And the winner, receiving a cheque for £250,000, the trophy and the title, 2023 Mr. Q UK champion, the greatest of all time, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, what better way to mark the 30th anniversary of that remarkable breakthrough win than winning it again. For an 8th time. He's not so sure about the medal, but he'll love holding this trophy aloft once again. And the crowd absolutely love watching it. And I've got to say, Alan, that finish, those last 3 frames, that's about as good as I think anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was as good as it gets. You simply can't play better snooker than that. The long reds from Balk, I mentioned about the work that he was doing in the practice room this morning. The reason you do that is so that when you go out there on the centre stage and the heat is on in battle that Ding Junhui brought to the game today, you can produce it, and boy did he produce it. It was a performance almost of a lifetime towards the end of the final. Where is it all going to stop?
Well, you do wonder. I mean, once we get into the new year, obviously the Masters, and then talk will turn to the Crucible. Could there be an 8th world title? I know Jimmy thinks he can get 10 of each. I mean, it doesn't seem quite so fanciful when you watch something like that.
No, 22 and counting now. I mean, he started winning these things way back 30 years ago. And how long can he go? The hunger's still there, that's clear, and that's good to see. Also good to see Ding Junhui back where he belongs.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alan, and thanks as well to, of course, Philip and Dominic as well. It's been, well, extraordinary to be here, actually. The crowd was so involved in that at the end, and why not? Ronnie O'Sullivan, for an 8th time, is UK champion. One of the great moments that I think we've ever seen. Well done to him.
Some legends never die. He won it in 93, 1997, 2001, 2007, 2014, 2017, 2018, and now 2023. He was the youngest UK champion when he won it at 17. He's now the oldest UK champion, winning it at 47 years of age. Neil, just too good.
Oh, absolutely right. You know, I mean, he's actually 48 in a couple of days. You know, it's an incredible career, great legacy. All of these things, you know. I mean, I think that little burst at the end is what he needed to do, because he was searching, I think, all week for his best form. But at 7-all in the final, when Ding made a century against him, that's when he found his best form. And he found the form that we've seen all those 3 decades, you know. And it was there, but without that, I don't know if he'd have won. But he found it, and that's what champions do. And he just I mean, he won a frame in about 7 minutes, I think it was, to go 8-7 up. All of these things and the style he does it has never really diminished all the years.
What is it about him, Jim, that makes him able to do that?
Well, he's got such a great technique. You know, he's such a great champion, and like he's an unbelievable snooker player, the best we've ever seen. And 3 times in this tournament, he was 5-4 down with Xiao Yu Long, won 6-5. He was also 2-0 down with Anthony McGill and produced. And then against Hussein, he was, you know, like the player of the tournament, and he just took him apart, you know. And then all of a sudden, Ding hits back 7 each, goes for the whip and produces it again. You know, unbelievable. He's just like incredible.
And he does exactly what he needs to do, Neil. 2 deciding frames earlier on in the tournament. You're thinking to yourself, you know, what sort of Ronnie has arrived at these championships, but he does exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, that's right. But as I say, he had to find that real burst of something, and he did that brilliantly. Yeah, I thought Ding was good. You know, today I thought Ding played brilliantly again. You know, you can't argue with what he achieved there, and he's on the up too, and it's good to see. So, no, Ronnie was brilliant at the end there.
Well, for the 8th time, Ronnie O'Sullivan holds the UK title. Here he is here.
Hello.
Ronnie, massive congratulations.
Yeah, cool.
Once again, you've done the business, mate. You mentioned throughout the tournament you were searching. Based on those last 3 frames, did you find what you were after?
Kind of, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, a little bit, yeah, but still, yeah, I'm not going to start. You know, it wasn't great, but it was all right. You know, I was stuck in there. I was focused. I used my head tonight. I thought I'm going to have to just at least let Ding earn it, you know, if he's going to beat me. Because I could feel a bit of sabotage coming in this afternoon, you know, just getting a bit frustrated. But it's been like that all week, really. I think I play snooker like Sevi Ballesteros plays golf, you know, I'm in and out, trees all over the gaff, you know. It's like nuts, this game.
He weren't bad, though, was he?
Sevi, yeah, but it catches up with you after a while, you know. It's just quite draining. But, yeah, and I'm pleased to get the win, you know.
How important is resilience with the way that you play?
Yeah, I have to have it, I suppose, you know, with the way I play, you know. It's so all over the place sometimes, you know, that it's easy to get down on yourself, I suppose, and get frustrated. But, you know, I have to try and sort of think of the positives a little bit when I'm out there, and just try and think that at some point it could turn around, and just to keep you, you know, trying hard, you know.
Jimmy, we were talking about those championship rounds as a boxer. That's what we saw in those last 3 frames.
Yeah, you know, like Ding's played well, you know, and from 4-1 down, there was a chance Ronnie went into the pack a couple of times, and, you know, you was looking at maybe 6-2, something like that. Ended up 4 each, went again tonight, and as soon as it went to 7 each, Ronnie just produced, you know, the snooker that he does when he's under the hammer, and, you know, like amazing stuff. You know, long pots as well in there. Everything was in there. As Ronnie said, he used his head, kept Ding under it, and didn't really have a chance, Ding, from 7 each, did he?
No, not really. I think from 7-all, you know, that's when he mainly made that century against you, Ron, and then you seem to find that little bit of extra what you need, you know, the real thing that you needed to win this title, you know. It felt like that. You want to frame in 7 minutes with the century, didn't you?
Did I?
To go 8-7 up.
Yeah.
You didn't even grind that frame out, you know. You just went in and won it as you'd have won it when you were 17, you know. Yeah,
listen, I know that, you know, that the grinding game is in there. In fact, in Shanghai, I just thought, you know what, someone's phone's going. I just felt like there was a burst in there somewhere, you know. As long as I can get a little burst on, I've just got to hang in there and just try and keep the opponent honest.
That was a great shot, that pink in the middle. And OK, you've already won the title, but, like, you know, the fans love that shot in and out of the bulk with the green. Great shot.
Yeah. No, that's what I do. I just try and just keep people honest, and then You know, like I did in Shanghai, I just had a little spell in a match where, you know, I thought, like, let's just let the shackles off here and just try and, you know, find something. Sometimes you have to dig deep and just to kind of stay in the game, if you know, and then hopefully you find a little something at the important moment, you know.
But a lot's been made about, obviously, 30 years since your first one. Do you remember what life was like in that tournament? As in, not being the rocket brand that you are now, can't move anywhere. What was life like then? Were you the same guy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I was just younger, just still loved playing, loved being on the tour, just enjoying it, you know, just loving the game. And I still like that today, you know. I still love playing, I still love competing. You know, I don't always want to play, to be honest with you. You know, like I got up today and I think, God, I just really don't want to, you know. It's sort of like when you get up in the morning, you've got to go to the gym or go for a run. You think, I don't actually fancy it, but once you get going, you actually start to enjoy it, you know. So I feel like that a lot of the time when I'm playing now. I think, oh, really, do I have to go down and play, even if it's a final or any practice, you know. But once you get going, you think, oh, it's actually not a bad job to have, really, you know.
We saw you practising for an hour, I think it was yesterday. How important is that side of things? Because you weren't on these tables very much, but whatever you did obviously worked.
Yeah, I don't practice at venues normally, but Jimmy said to me, you've got to hit a few balls, and I went, all right. So I stopped the gym for the last 3 days and come in and had a little knock in the morning. I'm
sorry, I think when you played Milkins, you didn't play at all. And, you know, you did produce at the end, and then the next day he practised. And, you know, he's a touch and feel player as well, and I think he found his game and he got stronger from that point. So it's down to me, Ron, just give me 50.
10%, Jim's on 10%.
I've heard you spoken before, and you said that for you, resilience can be taught. What would you actually do with somebody who doesn't have that mental strength?
Just go and buy the Steve Peters book, The Chimp Paradox. That's all I've done is I've just learned from Steve, you know. Before I didn't have a clue what was going on. I was just always sort of run by my emotions, you know, but tonight I come out with a game plan in my mind to just sort of not sabotage, you know, because I'm really good at that, you know. Well, I was for years until obviously started working with Steve, and then I kind of was like, okay, and then I stopped doing that, and then I realised that, you know, I was giving myself a chance and to compete, you know, and form goes, you know, might start the tournament off not so great, but I was sticking in there. Come the quarterfinals, started to find my game. And all of a sudden I win that tournament, and I win the next tournament, and then I win the World Championships. And you think, well, that probably wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have stuck in there in them early matches, you know. So I never kind of worry about what's going on in the present. I think as long as I have the right mindset and the right, you know, towards the game and the sport, it will happen at some point. You know, you can't just, it's not like a flick of a switch. You know, you have to kind of like be patient sometimes, put the graft in, and all of a sudden it just, you know, it happens for you, you know.
Mate, thank you for that. In terms of the final frame, when is your sort of moment of joy? Do you get it on frame ball knowing you've won the championship, or is it purely about you want to be in the flow at that point?
I don't know, really. I just enjoy competing, you know. I'm like, you know, I was just nice to win, nice to get over the line, nice, you know, but, you know, you've got to enjoy the doing, you know what I mean? I'm not sort of thinking, oh, I want to just get over the line. I'm thinking you've got to enjoy being out there and enjoy playing and enjoy the process, you know. If you can't enjoy that, then what's the point, you know what I mean? So for me, it's about not being scared about going out there, you know, and playing and just sort of relishing these opportunities, you know.
I think sometimes with me, watching Ronnie, he never really plays the wrong shot. Sometimes he might get down and might not feel that comfortable, but he will still commit to the shot. You know, he doesn't like... certain players might change their formula of winning when they're in front. They might, you know, like close it down a bit. But Ronnie just plays his own game and just focuses on that. And that last 3 frames was Ronnie O'Sullivan at his best for me.
And Ron, just a word for Ding Junhui. He really came at you for a lot of that final. He really made it honest.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know like Jimmy and Neil, but his positional play, I was sitting there watching. Every time he potted the red and got it, I thought, that's it, game over, because he was never out of position. It's like, he's the best positional player I've ever seen in my life. You know, he is phenomenal. Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. Good, very, very good safety player. He's got the all-round game, really. You know, just be nice to see him go and win the World Championships. I think for his ability and his game, it'd be nice to see him do that.
I think he'd take a lot from this tournament, Ding, you know, because he looked like he was going to get beat first round. It looked like he sort of headed dropped and then won and then beat Williams and then give you a great game.
He's had quite a good season this year. He's had a couple of quarters and semis or whatever. I know Neil probably knows results better than me, but I've been playing at the same time as him, watching his game, and he's just so efficient. He's just, a lot of players are chasing the white ball in, but I'm watching him, he's like 70, 80, 90. He might lose 5-4, but you just think, he's just purring along, and you think, it's just, it's a nice way to play. If you want to, as a snooker player, you want to play snooker how Ding plays it, because it's just easy, you just get up, bang, 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 balls on. Like he's got magnets under the table, it's just going exactly where he wants it, I
think he might take more from this year's final than last year's, where he was 6-1 up, and got ground down by Mark Allen, who did it brilliantly. And then he went quiet after that again, you know what I mean? Maybe this year, because he did play well this afternoon, didn't he, against you? He took the game back to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it's just how bad he wants it, at the end of the day, if he really wants it bad, like, some of the guys like Judd does, he'll win more, but, it's hard, when you just enjoy your life and you love playing and you just want to, and he's good enough just to turn up and be the top 8, just enjoying it, but if he really wants to get in the thick of it and really, go through the pain that sometimes you've got to go through and the ups and downs, the emotions that, being, just wanting to be a winner takes, then he'll win more, but, it takes a toll on you, and I'm not saying it's wrong, just enjoying it and playing it, and, because that's also nice as well. You want to enjoy your life, you want to enjoy your job and all that sort of stuff. And, he's still super successful. But, I think for Ding, he's got the ability to win a lot, but, yeah.
Like I say, being happy is the most important thing.
Yeah.
In terms of your season, in terms of being happy as well, what's next for you? What are your plans?
I don't know, really. Just wait and see. I know I'm going to Macau at Christmas. We've got a tournament out there. Yeah, and I don't know what I'm going to do in between. I'll see. I've like a thing. I'll try and just do 120 days a year away from home. So I don't want to use up all my days. If I've done all right in this tournament, I've done all right in China, I'm going to try and save them days for some of the bigger tournaments, and then obviously May, June, July, maybe get back on the exhibition circuit and go to China and do some stuff out there. So, I want to be at home as well. So I have to be a bit careful about my schedule, because you don't want to get burnt out,
In terms of a final, do you prefer it when a guy comes at you and makes it a hard match, or would you rather just pump them 10-0?
I don't mind either. I like destroying people, and I don't mind a good battle either. I don't mind. I like all types of games.
Because there was a point that Neil kind of flagged on our touchscreen. I think it was, what was the point of the handshake? I think it was at 4-all, walking after the afternoon session, where there was a sense of respect.
Yeah, you smiled at him because you saw how well he'd played at the end. You said you were having a moment, but the way he came at you in the last 2 frames, as if he said, well, fair play. You almost like to see that, because this week players have had their chances against you and not taking them, have they?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, you get So they've had the chances and haven't taken them, and and I played all right when I've had to, I suppose. But no, Ding played good this afternoon. I was a bit disappointed at 4, but then I thought about it. I thought he could have been easily 6-2 up. Mr. Pink on 60 odd, and Mr. Black on 30 odd. The way he plays, he looked like he would have cleared up. So I stole them ones. So at 3-1, 4-1, I felt like I stole a bit of a lead. So 4-all, in some ways, when I thought about it, I thought, what, I've had a result there, really. I could have been 5-3, 6-2 down, really,
And in terms of feeling after, when you were 4-all, so you actually felt that was a fair scoreline?
Well, not fair. I thought I'd had a result, really.
Okay, right.
And even though I was 4-1 up, I did think, what, that could have been a lot worse, So I come out at 4 and thought, it's the best of 9 tonight. Just don't sabotage, It's hard for me to not sabotage, because I get frustrated if I'm not flying. But I just went in there and I just played, just hung in there and just kept playing one shot, one frame at a time, just hoping that something might happen. and I had little spells where it did, and I thought, okay, yeah, it was worth the patience and trying to hold it together just for that, really.
What do you learn about yourself going into a final like this and coming out the other side, winning again? Because at that battle, I think people wouldn't necessarily know that that's what's going on in your head.
Yeah, I don't know if I learned. I think now I just feel more experienced, and I don't panic at all, I haven't really got anything to prove, so if I lose, it's no big deal, I still like, it's still nice to win, but in many ways, I just enjoy it. I like playing the young generation of players, in Shanghai. I played Luca in the final, really enjoyed that match, and I just, sometimes I feel a different player now than I ever did years ago. I'm a bit more rounded and kind of got, I can sort of, I feel like all right, really, yeah.
He's won the two biggest money tournaments of the season now, Shanghai and this. You know, this is the biggest ranking event of the season, 250,000, and Shanghai, which was, I think, 210, wasn't it, or certainly over 200 grand. So, you know, he finds a way of, when the occasion's big, getting the job done, you know. And I suppose you can pick and choose now this season because it's mapped out for you in the new year if you want to play in the events. The Tour Championship's different this year. I don't know whether you're going to play in what, but I'm not getting involved in that. But, you know, it's a bigger event now. So he can...
Well, what's big about it?
Well, there's 12 players. It's a different prize fund, I think. And it's in Manchester. It's all done differently. But, you know, he hasn't got to fight for points now in the interim. So I suppose that just gives you a chance to map out the season.
I've never bothered me anyway about making tournaments. I've never gone for the bonuses. No. I've never bothered about getting any things. I've always sort of had my own schedule. You know, I like my exhibitions that I do. You know, so I keep busy, and that's my own little things that I do. You know, so I just play when I want to play. Don't play when I feel like I want to rest. I'm not. When I was saying ranking points, I was actually taking the mickey because everyone seems to be chasing ranking points apart from me. You know, I'm not one of them people. You know. I just want to play when I want to play, and that's it. You know, I don't chase rankings, money, trophies, and stuff like that. I just like to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Really.
When you're in a final, obviously it's great for the sport. It's great for you. It's great for us to watch it. Not so great for Jimmy because your blood pressure's been high. How are you feeling now, Jim?
Well, the way he was focused, you know, like, OK, 4-1 up against Ding today, and then Ding did produce, but, you know, there was bits and pieces in there, brilliant stuff, and he can rely on that. You know, he's got that inner confidence that, you know, he doesn't play the wrong shot, Ronnie O'Sullivan, he plays the right shot, whatever's going down. So, you know, he just stuck with it, and then it clicked at 7 each. You know, 7-5 up, you thought Ding might sort of, you know, miss a few. He didn't. He come back to 7 each, and then Ronnie O'Sullivan played, you know, great snooker to win the match and the trophy.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say about it is he might not be chasing ranking points, but there was a few players that could have taken his #1 spot. I know he's not bothered about this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Luca could have gone past Mark Allen, Judd. Now he's going further ahead again in the rankings because the 2 years' points from the quarterfinals he loses, he's got a load more on. Now they've got to catch him now as world #1. It's not happening anytime soon.
It's all about the ranking.
He doesn't care, but I'm still saying it because a lot of people wanted to get past me.
Wrong, isn't it, really, that I'm #1 and I'm not really that bothered and everyone's chasing it. It's terrible, really.
You're not chasing anymore,
I thought it's so wrong. I'm nicking all their glory.
It's probably why you are #1. But the snooker will be continuing. That's just the first Triple Crown of the season. 2 more. We have the Masters and then the Worlds, plus an awful lot of ranking point opportunities, which Ron doesn't massively care about. We've got the shootout, which kicks off on the 6th of December, then the Scottish Open and German Masters just in time for Christmas. After New Year, it's the Masters, as I mentioned, Triple Crown opportunity again there. We have the Welsh Open, the Germans, and the Welsh as well. So an awful lot of snooker right here on Eurosport and Discovery Plus. It has to be said, it has been a fantastic tournament once again. There have been final frame deciders. There have been almost 147 opportunities. There has also been greatness once again cemented. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 22 majors, 40 ranking titles. The accolades and the stats go on. All we know is we love watching him play it, and we're glad that he's still playing. Thank you very much to each and every single one of you for watching all the day's coverage. Make sure you're watching the snooker right here on Eurosport Discovery Plus, the home of snooker. Have a very good night.
Two global snooker superstars ready to go toe-to-toe once again. A break of 71 from Ronnie O'Sullivan in the opening frame. That is a big steal, a very big moment early in the UK final. Another brilliantly brutal clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan, 91 this time. Ding Junhui missed a black off its spot and he's been punished again. A vital frame for Ding Junhui to win, and he won it in style with a break of 89. Another hammer blow for Ding Junhui, another frame that Ronnie O'Sullivan has stolen from under his nose. O'Sullivan inadvertently fouled when he was using rest and bridge rest. Ding executed that shot and did the rest. This final is coming to the boil. Back-to-back frames for Ding, a superb century. What a final we now have in store this evening. It's a stirring fight back from Ding Junhui. He's won 3 on the bounce quite brilliantly, and it's set up perfectly for the finale tonight.